Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. Hawks win 4-3 in overtime against the Arizona Coyotes. Alex DeBrincat's 40th goal. We're going to break it all down. We're going to wish a happy birthday to a Blackhawks legend and get into some of Derek King's roster decisions as we go on here. Jay Zawaski, Greg Boysen, Mario Tirabassi. We're presented, as always, by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get $2,000 in free bets, 2 risk-free bets, up to $2,000 that is. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership. That unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making a $50 or more first-time deposit at PointsBet. And fellas, I collaborated with our buddy Craig Morgan from Arizona. Which team has it worse, the Hawks or Coyotes? The Coyotes are worse.
It's official.
Let's go.
Woo! The Blackhawks are not the worst.
Kiss our ass, Arizona. I don't know.
Good Lord. We have to entertain ourselves at this point.
Way to split that season series with the Yotes, boys. Yeah.
We're trying to match that energy that Big Dave and Matt bring during the Bulls
not
games.
gonna happen.
And I am concerned for them. They need cardiologists immediately. But, hey, man, a win is a win is a win.
I have decided that the Chicago Bulls cannot make it to the NBA Finals because it will kill Big Dave and Matt.
For the good of Big Dave and Matt.
And exactly. I like those guys way too much to see them have to drop dead right here in our studios. But
precisely.
Fun night, Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Remember when there was a time when we were all like, ooh, the Coyotes are in the Blackhawks division.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll get fat and happy on those games.
And now the Coyotes are probably like, yeah, the Blackhawks are in our division.
Well, look, it felt that way early, right? The Hawks scored 42 seconds into the game on the back of offensive juggernaut Jake McCabe.
Yeah.
And they played well. The first period was really good. Then the second period, not as good. And then it just felt inevitable in that third that Arizona was going to tie it up.
We called it watching the game.
Yeah.
We said, hey, they're up 3-1. This game's totally going overtime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
At least it's a 9 p.m. start.
Yeah.
At least it's got that going for it.
Yeah.
9:30 tomorrow. Can't wait.
Yeah, at least that overtime didn't take almost all 5 minutes.
My God. Well, we have all offseason to get into NHL overtime, but something needs to change.
I love 3-on-3 overtime when it's exciting to me. I've always been a big fan, but I don't love Blackhawks 3-on-3 overtime.
That might be it.
Yeah,
that might be
they just love to skate it out of the zone and set up again to skate it out of the zone again.
It became
move forward.
It became like this new trend around the league where skating the puck out of your own zone to reset became a thing. I was watching we were watching the overtime, and I kept thinking, remember when 3-on-3 overtime was first a thing, and every overtime was like chance, and then someone would score, and now it's just if you win the opening faceoff, you're guaranteed the first 90 seconds of possession because all the teams love to just skate it out of the zone and try again. And
Rob Manfred, the MLB commissioner, loves to ban things. Why don't we get him in the NHL to ban the backwards pass in overtime?
There should be
and power play.
If you've ever played Call of Duty or Fortnite, as the map closes in on you, they should have that from the defensive zone where there's just a wall that keeps moving forward that you can't
only
skate
go
backwards. Yeah, it just until possession changes, then the wall moves again.
That'd be fantastic.
Because it's just ridiculous, and it is. We like to have fun here at the expense of the Blackhawks because God knows they deserve it, but it is a league-wide epidemic that most of overtime is spent skating backwards. And skating, you've got possession in the zone. I don't like it. I'm going to go back to the neutral zone or maybe the defensive zone and survey things again.
Yeah,
it's teams playing not to lose, and when you've got two teams that have nothing to,
who have done a lot of losing,
when it's the Hawks and Coyotes, they should be going for broke the entire overtime. I can see if you're battling for playoff position or whatever, but come on.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? Let's just try to score and go home.
Just make it exciting. That's
right.
what this Blackhawks team and what I would imagine the Coyotes want to do as well. Just make it exciting as you suck. Like, just try
suck with style. Please.
Try and be entertaining.
Be bad,
if you're
but
gonna lose,
entertain me, please.
If you're gonna lose, at least go down in flames or get some glory to it. Like, the cycling.
We got a fan in from Chile.
Hey,
Renzo
nice.
from Chile, nice. It's
Cheers,
probably middle afternoon
Renzo.
there. It's it is officially Thursday here in Chicago, so thanks for checking in.
There we go.
That is good
time is
stuff
it in
right
Chile?
there.
We appreciate everybody checking in, and Ryan and no expert. Yeah, I got that. I decoded that internet lingo.
All right. Well, you're in the right place, no expert.
40 goals for Alex DeBrincat, and that's really the story of the night.
Yeah.
Let's focus on a guy who had been stuck on 39 for longer than I imagined he would be, and he's got the monkey off his back, feeling good about that. And the Hawks have a really great hockey player in Alex DeBrincat, and I spent some time in the CHGO members-only Discord during the intermissions today. A couple times it came up, like, are the Hawks going to trade DeBrincat? And I can't fathom that. It's not every day you find a guy like him that can score at the rate he can. I know he's your most valuable asset right now to get back a bunch of pieces, but what are the odds you're going to get a piece back that's as good as Alex DeBrincat? I find that hard to believe, and I think Kyle Davidson has shown some creativity in acquiring picks and acquiring prospects. I don't think you need to trade Alex DeBrincat. Alex DeBrincat should be wearing the C on his sweater when Jonathan Toews decides to move on or get traded or whatever happens with Jonathan Toews. I think Alex DeBrincat's next captain. He's certainly, to me, not trade bait.
Go ahead, Greg.
I agree. When you trade players of that caliber, first, you don't see it that often, but you never get full value. Never.
Right.
Everybody thought the Buffalo Sabres were going to get, this mad haul for Jack Eichel. And I mean, I know you're the biggest Alex Tuck fan on the planet, Jay, but
don't get me started on that. We're getting Sam on in the offseason, and him and I are going to box verbally.
But, I don't see trading. Listen, he's a great player, great goal scorer.
Yep.
And you got to have some reason to get Hawks fans to buy tickets to see this team over the next couple of years. That's your guy. Regardless of what happens with Kane and Toews, they're not the draw they once were, even if they are back beyond next season. He's your marketable guy. Maybe get him a little more, exposure in front of the camera. Get his personality out there. He's your marketable guy.
And he's got one.
They've definitely used him in a lot of different markets.
As they should.
And they should, because he's your guy going forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's your next superstar. He's already, he is a star. But he's your marketing guy. He's the guy you put on the tickets. He's the guy you put on the website, front and center. He's the one that's going to sell tickets. He's the one that's going to be on the billboard as you're driving down the highway.
And they need a guy like that because, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about Seth Jones, but he's not a guy who's homegrown. He's not a guy who a lot of fans are on board with because of the contract, because of the term, because of the cost, all those sort of things. After next season, Alex DeBrincat probably is the face of your franchise. And if you move him, who do you got? You can't give it to Kirby Dach yet because he hasn't proven it on the ice. Great kid, seems like a good guy, handsome young man, certainly marketable, but he has to create results on the ice before he becomes, the head of your marketing pitches. Alex DeBrincat right now is your sole marketable player aside from Toews and Kane, and I think the Hawks realize that. And look, maybe that should not dictate hockey decisions, but we've seen they can be bad enough with Alex DeBrincat on the roster, and I think he should be the guy, like I said, wearing the C when the rebuild is coming to an end and this team's ready to win again. He'll be 26, 27, 28 years old, and they'll be coming out of the rebuild a little bit, maybe getting some not so great playoff spots, but that's the guy I want leading this team for the next generation. I hope they don't trade him. I would understand it if they did, but I hope they don't.
I agree with everything you guys have said, and I second that. My biggest question with DeBrincat moving forward is he's going to get a hefty payday for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 40 goal scorer now this season. He was on pace for 50 last year, and he's the issue. I think the biggest issue he has is not his size. It is his ability to score without guys like Taves and Kane and Strome playing with him. Can he be a player that can create his own offense, or does he rely a lot on being set up for one-timers or being able to have other players create space for him?
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Right, right.
Find
That's but I think that's one of my few hesitations with him being the key driver of the offense moving forward is, can he actually drive it on his own, or is he kind of a product of having other high-level talent around him? Because if he doesn't have high-level talent around him, can he score 40, 30 plus?
It's a tough question to answer because since he's come here, he's been one of the Hawks' biggest offensive threats.
Mm-hmm.
So he was going to play on the top six no matter what. So we haven't really seen him without skilled players. We're seeing now Jonathan Taves in like today's second line, but overall, recently the third line role when the team is healthy with Radish and with Kubalik sometimes and yada yada yada. Sam Lafferty sometimes, and we have not seen DeBrincat in the situation where he is the top threat on a line yet. I don't know. I mean, does the size prevent him from being your best player? Maybe, but the game has changed, right? Patrick Kane is your best player, and he's not huge by any means. Right. I don't know. It's an interesting thought because after next year, we might very well find out if Jonathan Taves and Patrick Kane decide they want to move on and not be Blackhawks anymore, or the Hawks just say, "Look, we can't afford to pay you. We're rebuilding. Thank you for your service.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the memories."
Right.
DeBrincat will be the number one offensive option, and that's when it's going to have to show. So that's an interesting question, and hopefully something we'll never have to answer, because if Lucas Reichel develops in to a number one center, then that's going to be DeBrincat's line mate for the rest of his time here. So that's the hope, and hopefully maybe Kirby Dach can finally take his game to the next level and become a number two or number one center. But that remains to be seen. So we're going to find out.
A DeBrincat Reichel Dach line in 2 years could be a thing.
Sure.
It could be absolutely nothing either.
It could. I don't know.
Just going to have to wait and see.
It's a lot of hope.
It's a lot of hope. It is a lot of hope, but that's what else do we got to hope for right now?
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's all we got until we start restocking that cupboard. Mm-hmm. You mentioned DeBrincat's size, and you said Kane. He's been the superstar, and he's not a big guy. And a little bit difference between the two is like DeBrincat is the kind of guy that will go to the dirty areas of the ice, will throw a check, will mix it up, will stand up for a teammate. So,
we've seen him do that a few times.
I mean, and I think that a lot of that is why, Jay thinks he should be the next captain. I don't disagree with that at all based on what's here right now. So we'll see what happens with DeBrincat. I hope he's here for the duration of this, so he's rewarded with some good teams and some playoff hockey. He's still young. He still hasn't hit the prime stretch of his career. You're going to have to give him a big pay raise at some point, but those Kane and Taves contracts are gone.
Eventually,
you got some money to free up. Salary cap isn't going to be an issue for this team for a while. And then we'll probably just devote some shows of the offseason about why the salary cap needs to go away, because the Blackhawks, if Kyle Davidson does it right, are going to eventually lose a bunch of these great young players that he's going to draft for us, hopefully, because, the salary cap is stupid.
You're punished for being
you're punished for being a good draft team. We saw it with the first, we saw
first cup team.
Yeah, those 2010 teams, those teams had to be dismantled, somehow.
Well, look, I mean, Saad, Panarin, Teravainen, even after the 2010 team,
right?
You lost a lot of good guys you signed or developed simply because of cap restrictions.
And Tampa Bay has done a better job of weathering that storm. a lot of that has to do is because they actually draft well while winning. That's something the Blackhawks never did.
They also haven't vastly overpaid some of their players.
Correct.
Well, that too.
Well, and that's how Pittsburgh has stayed competitive, where Crosby takes $2 million under market value, and Malkin does it too, and Letang does it too. Stan Bowman's like, this is what you're worth. This is what you're getting.
Here, no. You're not. I'm not going to give you that. And it also helps. It also helps Florida no state income tax, so you could actually pay a guy
you pocket
$1 million less than he would make, and he'd actually still be making more money than if he was on the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
So that's an advantage that team has. But it's lots to talk about when it comes to that. Hopefully, Alex DeBrincat is still around. When we're as excited as Matt and Dave are over a playoff win. I'm sure you can hear that. I know January said she was watching the Bulls on her phone. I bet you if you turn up the volume loud enough on this, you'll get the simulcast. You'll get the sound bleeding through. We're in the Radish Garden tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know if this room was built for 3 people, but
we're making it work.
We're making it work.
Grabbed a third chair in there. We made it work today.
Yeah.
It's
I'm a little sweaty, but that's not different. Got a comment here from Sean on the DeBrincat topic. What if you get a return like Columbus got for Seth Jones, 2 top first-round picks, and
the Blackhawks can't trade with themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
When Columbus hires Stan Bowman, we'll give him a phone call.
Well, here's my, just in general, my whole thing is no one is untouchable. If someone's going to come to you and be like, we'll give you 5 first-round picks and $50 billion for your franchise, and yes, you should listen to every call that comes in. Mm-hmm. If Edmonton's like, we're tired of Connor McDavid, okay, let's work something out then. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like, there's no one that's untouchable, and everything should be considered. But unless there's some sort of can't miss offer for Alex DeBrincat, I think there's more value in hanging on to him, because I just, like I said earlier, I don't think that you're going to draft a player that's going to end up being better than Alex DeBrincat is. He is going to score 50 at some point. It's going to happen. And hopefully he'll get to the point in his career where the goals and the assists even out a little bit better this year. He's got 40 and 36?
35. New career high, 35.
Yeah.
So tied his career high at 35.
Yeah. So that's, for a long time he looked he was going to be big goals, low assists. He's starting to even it out a little bit.
He's definitely becoming a better passer.
Didn't he start the season with didn't he get to 20 goals and had 6 assists?
It was always something ridiculous like that with him. Yeah,
it was like DeBrincat was scoring all the goals and Kane was getting all the assists, and now they've kind of
evened out a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think, and the thing too is with the Brandon Hagel situation, the Blackhawks brought him in as an unsigned player, as an unsigned drafted player, and they struck gold with him. He was a fantastic player here, and then they got an offer that you couldn't turn down and flipped him for more future assets that you probably have a better chance of one of those future assets turning into a Brandon Hagel than you do with an Alex DeBrincat, where if you get a massive amount of future assets for Alex DeBrincat, the likelihood that one of them are going to be another 30, 40, maybe 50 goal scorer is much lower than finding another Brandon Hagel. And the other thing too is, the Blackhawks kind of struck gold with Brandon Hagel, but they also did the same thing with Alex DeBrincat. If he was 6 foot tall, he would have been a top 10 pick in his draft.
Yep.
Yeah. But because he's so small, he fell to the second round, and the Blackhawks basically were just like, oh, okay, a guy who scored 3 straight years with 50 goals in the OHL, we'll scoop him right up.
Oh, and he had that attitude problem. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. That's why he was cut from Team USA.
I haven't seen any of that since he's been here.
Yeah,
he's been nothing but
not at all
a model citizen here.
Yeah, he's been easily one of the fan favorites on and off the ice. So I think, to the point of the massive haul you could get in a DeBrincat trade would be, it would be something that would be really hard to pass up. But it's also the likelihood you're going to find something to equal his value in that kind of deal is much lower than what we saw in something like Brandon Hagel.
Austin Matthews demands a trade out of Toronto because he's sick of losing in the first round, and they're like, hey, how about we do Alex DeBrincat for Austin Matthews?
Well, no, he's going to Arizona because
that's where he's from.
Yeah, it's because he's from Arizona.
Right.
So
he could sell out that 3,000-seat arena.
He will. Hey, if anyone can sell out a 4,000-seat arena, it's Austin
Him and
Matthews.
all his beer buddies are the only people at the arena. They can all moon security guards.
Your point is good, though, Mario, because let's say you trade Alex DeBrincat for 3 draft picks of varying value, right? and you turn them into 3 Brandon Hagels.
Your team's worse.
Your team's worse.
Yeah.
You have to have people that you can rely on to score consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just not going to get that with late first-round picks or whatever. I don't know. Again, nothing should be completely off the table, but unless there's something that's an absolute no-brainer, I think it makes sense to hang on to them. And look, you could see in the game tonight and a couple games that this 40-goal marker has been weighing on him a little bit. We're seeing him fumble pucks like we've never seen before. And even in overtime, there were a few missteps from him, over-skating. I think now that it's passed and he finally has hit the accomplishment, we're going to see him look a lot more like the Alex DeBrincat we saw for a lot of. Not that he's been bad, but just
a little bit more
off
relaxed.
a little bit. Off yeah, right.
He's the type of guy. He's got his 40 now. If he's going to grip that stick a little lighter, I wouldn't put hitting 50 and getting 10 goals in the next 6 games. If there's one guy to do it, he can do it.
Got to be a points bet on that, and we'll look, and
That'd
you
be
should
nice.
too, because the best way to
Call me
support
the best with
well,
segues.
I'm learning from the best, man.
Hey,
you are the
smooth.
master segwayer. But the best way to support CHGO is to download that PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you'll get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our awesome web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker. That happens when you make a $50 or more first-time deposit at PointsBet. PointsBet is your home for live in-play betting, and it just got even better. Just in time for the NBA playoffs, PointsBet introduces their new feature, Live NBA Same Game Parlay. For the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA Same Game Parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. Want more? You can also boost your live Same Game Parlays. Watch live, parlay live, and boost live with PointsBet. And now, reminder, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download that PointsBet app. Sign up from start to finish, from your couch, from your shower, if you're a weirdo like me, from your bed, wherever you are, you can make it happen. So do it. What are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. We do want to thank everybody for staying up with us on a late night. I hear there was some other sporting event in Chicago tonight. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But to have people here supporting us at 12:15 in the morning, we greatly appreciate it. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. And reminder, today, just today, the CHGO Sports Facebook page launched. Go to www, that's for World Wide Web, facebook.com/CHGO Sports. And make sure you like the Facebook page.
Can I do a same game live parlay, parlaying the over of the Marcus Rosen points and the over of Matt Peck F-bombs in the course of Game 3?
Probably
Over.
could, yeah.
Over.
I think you take the
I'm
over.
I'm sure the line on that will be like 103.5, and I'm still going over.
I think you take the over.
Yeah.
Because he tosses his hat and throws out the F-bombs for good things.
Good moments too, right?
It's not bad. It's not all bad.
Yeah.
The way our office is set up here, they're watching on the other side of a wall. So he's yelling the whole game, but I couldn't tell if they were winning or losing because it was no different if they were up by 14 or down by 14.
Yeah.
It's the same emotion. I think we should raffle tickets to charity to people to watch a game
Seriously.
with them. But see, if you want to watch a game with them, they're going to be right
Make-A-Wish
down the
Foundation.
street.
Friday.
Night, the third rail on Madison. They're going to be there. Both Big Dave and Matt. Game 3 while it's going on at the United Center.
It's going to be a wild
It'll be a
one.
watch party. So if you're into that, if you're into the Bulls playoffs, if you're into just being out and enjoying an adult beverage on a Friday night,
You're into the vibes.
head over to the third rail. It's our first ever CHGO watch party.
Yeah, and get a feel for the vibe that we have curated here at CHGO Sports, because look, anytime something new launches, everyone's like, yeah, this is the greatest thing ever. But really, the atmosphere here, we talk about it all the time off the air, guys. Like, we were just pinching ourselves. Like, is this real? Like, is someone going to like, psych, this is not your real job. Back to the office. It's amazing how cool this has been and the immediate support we've gotten from our fans. I did a intermission Discord AMA today during a meaningless Hawks game at 10 o'clock at night. And there's a bunch of people in there asking questions about the Hawks and about life and everything. It's just the community we're growing here at CHGO is incredible. And we couldn't do it without all of you who are watching and participating and subscribing to the podcast and liking the YouTube page and now liking the Facebook and becoming CHGO members. It's been just fantastic, and we greatly appreciate it. And it's only going to get better from here. But yeah, join those guys Friday night at the Third Rail on Madison for a watch party, and that's going to be just a little hint of things to come here at CHGO.
Yeah,
It's going to be a good time.
there'll be a lot. Without giving away too much, though, it's going to be a lot of watch parties in our future.
Yes.
Lots and lots.
Yes.
A real lot.
And hopefully they'll involve the Blackhawks
We'll watch
in
it
some
somewhere.
meaningful games.
Yeah, I mean, opening night's meaningful.
Yeah.
For like the second period, and then that's when their playoff hopes will be
Then they
dashed.
announce the opening lineup, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Once the puck drops, the playoff, they're officially eliminated from the playoff. No, we'll
And it's like the Family Guy.
Yeah.
But you know, if
Here's
they're-
the opening pitch, and the season's over.
But if they're not going to be fun on the ice, we can make it fun off the ice.
Yes.
We'll do our best.
We will.
Yeah,
We'll do our best.
And we've said this a lot too. Like, rebuilds can be fun. Watching the growth, seeing the guy. Like, I think just people we're going to talk about tonight. Alex Regula, Alex Vlasic. A month ago, Derek King said Alex Vlasic can't play in the NHL. He's like, he's just not ready.
Mm-hmm.
He's not ready to play in the NHL. We're not going to play him at all. He's going to play 4 minutes a night, once a week. All of a sudden, he's become an impactful player for the Hawks in a month.
I think somebody said it in the comments earlier. Who would have thought that Alex Regula and Alex Vlasic would both have their first NHL goal before Lucas Reichel?
Right. It was our guy.
Yeah.
It was our guy Skokes, who we were temporarily convinced was a bot
This is true.
because Skokes
did.
would like tweets before I would hit send. I'd be like, boop, liked.
He-
Like, what
he's-
the
It
hell?
was a little scary, and I did see.
He's
I
on
did
top of it.
I did see his comment. It made me a little worried because I did see his comment the other night. He's a St. Patrick alum, as I am, and I believe he also lives in Howard Heights, where I live. So,
Yeah, he lives in a tree outside your house. We keep telling you this.
well, there is a golf course across the street. So, do you live on the golf course, Skokes? Because do I need to Google how to obtain a restraining order? No, I'm kidding.
You've got to get the blackout curtains like we have in here. No one can see what I'm pointing at, but the blackout curtains in here to soundproof it from Big Dave and Matt. They're not working.
No.
No, you're gonna have to seal. You're gonna have to seal us into this room.
We're just gonna have to do our next time. Next time we got dual podcasts with the Bulls guys, we'll just go on the roof.
There you go, yeah.
Not today though.
Not today.
That would not be fun. That would not be fun. All right, well, should we get to the fourth stars of the game?
I mean, if we
Yeah.
have to.
Here, yeah, let's do it. We got
It's
some
a good
other
way to
stuff get
segue into that young defenseman talk.
The legal department says we have to.
I'm going to give mine to Alec Regula. I really liked his game tonight. I really liked his game lately. 5 shots on goal for Alec Regula. And there's a moment I wanted to point out that I'm sure a lot of people missed, and it was a very small thing. But in the first period, there was a loose puck in front of Kevin Lankinen. Regula corralled the puck with one hand, fended off the Coyotes player with the other, and calmly got out of danger. It's a little thing that I sort of noticed in an otherwise meaningless part of the game. These are the sort of little things when you look for a player's development. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you might have seen Regula freak out and panic a little bit in that situation. He handled it like a veteran. It looked like Marian Hossa. One hand fending off the skater with the other hand stick handling in a very dangerous area, right in the slot, right in front of the crease. A really small thing, but very impressive from Alec Regula. And I just think that he has really ascended for this team. And I really like what he's brought. You're seeing him confident with the puck. And we were talking about it before. I sort of forgot that he was part of the Nick Schmaltz trade. No, he was
in the trade tree. He's part of it.
He was in the trade tree. Yeah. So
he was one for one with Perlini a few years ago.
yeah. So
Seems like that turned out well.
I really like what he has shown. I think that he has earned the trust of Derek King, and clearly Kyle Davidson as well. So as we talk about like who has developed under Derek King, that list is starting to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Regula, Vlasic, even people like Lafferty, Radish, those guys have gotten better since they've come to Chicago. So I thought Regula played great, so he gets my 4-star.
All right. Apparently Skokes is my actual neighbor. You went young. I'm going to go old. I'm going Jonathan Toews. We've been very critical of Jonathan Toews when he's earned it. But it's only fair to give him the credit when he's earned that. And he had a great game today. He had the primary assists on the first 2 goals, had a very productive game today. That line with him, with Kubalik and Tyler Johnson, has looked really good the last 2 games. Going to give a quick shout out to Tyler Johnson, too. He's been, as a guy, if you listen to our audio only podcast on Tuesday, we talked about his comments and he was out there. Toews took that boarding penalty in the second period, and he was the first guy in there defending his captain. And he's a guy that could have packed it in and said, nope, next surgery, I'm not coming back to this mess. But he's been out there, and he's been productive. But I'm going to give it to Jonathan Toews. 2 assists, won 79% of his faceoffs.
Hey.
Was not
That's
on.
pretty good.
That's last time I checked. Yes,
That's not bad.
That will you'll win a lot of games if your top line center. Well, he's not the top. Whatever, you know what I mean. If you got a center winning 80%, there you go.
Hey, nice.
So yeah, give a shout out to Jonathan Toews. He's my 4th star. So way to go. A few,
That's good.
We were questioning his effort. No question about his effort tonight. Good to see.
Not at all. And I went with the first NHL goal scorer, Alex Vlasic. 14 minutes tonight of ice time, a pretty decent amount for him after having a couple games where it was just 5, 6, 7 minutes. Much of the same for him and Regula in the last handful of games where they've been given a lot more responsibility. They've really ran with it and have looked way more competent at the NHL level than they did earlier this season when Regula was getting his first opportunities, and earlier this month since the trade deadline with Vlasic when he was getting thrown in there, would get like 1 minute in the first period and was barely getting a look, and now he's making the most of it and jumping into the offense a lot more often for a guy who has not been billed as an offensive player whatsoever. Then very interested to see his confidence grow and be able to carry the puck into the offensive zone and create a couple of things. So he gets the fortunate bounce, gets the first goal tonight of his NHL career. Hopefully it's a long and fruitful one. And it's interesting that
is a pickle a fruit?
Is it?
I don't know.
Can be.
That's
This is actually
a cucumber.
Steven, you're
it's
healthy.
Actually,
You
a
tell
question
us.
I
I
feel like
have.
it's a vegetable because if a cucumber is a pickle,
I thought fruits have seeds and cucumbers have seeds.
Cucumbers have seeds, yeah. Because my wife told me that an avocado is a fruit, and that blew my mind.
To the internet.
So my daughter just turned 6 months today, and
Cucumbers are fruit.
Cucumbers are a fruit, so pickles
Google
are
confirms
the pun
cucumber's
works.
fruit.
There you go. My daughter turned 6 months today, and recently we've been starting the solid foods, obviously making them into a puree so she can eat them. But we started with avocado and pumpkin, and I was like, oh, it's great that we're starting with vegetables, like getting her a taste of health. My wife's like, those are fruits, and I was like, an avocado's a fruit? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, a pumpkin's a fruit? And she's like, yeah, pumpkin's fruit. And I honestly, I thought I was losing my mind. But apparently avocado and pumpkin are fruits. And cucumbers are fruits, so therefore pickles are fruits.
The more you know,
Yes.
flying over our heads. This is the stuff you learn on
Late night.
CHGO Blackhawks.
After
This
dark.
is what we have to get into.
By the way, I want to apologize in advance forever for saying Alec Regula and Alex Vlasic or flipping them.
Yeah.
Because every time I say one, I'm like,
Alec and Alex.
is he Alex or Alec? Which one is which? It's Alec Regula and Alex Vlasic.
Mm-hmm.
But I will screw that up all the time.
Too many Alexes
Alex.
on this team.
Yeah.
We used to have a Brendan problem. Now we got an Alex
Yeah.
problem. Just a quick brief before I think we should give this man a shout out to. We do our 4-star because we pick a guy that wasn't a 3-star of the game. The night's 3 stars were Alex DeBrincat, obviously game-winning goal, Dominik Kubalik, and then they gave the 3rd star to Andrew Ladd, who had an assist tonight playing in his 1,000th career game. So
1,000.
Stick tap to Andrew Ladd, member of that 2010 Stanley Cup winning team, 2-time Stanley Cup winner, won one with Carolina in 06. You know, when hearing about it, I was like, man, Andrew Ladd's playing 1,000 games, but you forget how long he's been in the league. I mean, I know his stint with the Islanders is rather forgetful, but he played some games there. So
yeah,
congratulations to Andrew Ladd. Great guy. 1,000 games. Got it against the Blackhawks. Had an assist tonight. So
that's off to him.
Yeah.
I got a question in the chat from Michael asking about my hoodie. I got this hoodie at the Blackhawks store.
There you go.
There you go. That's it. I would imagine if you go to cbhshop.com,
no
it's a free
story.
plug. I know it's very boring, but I walked in. I'm like, it's cold. I need a new hoodie.
One, please.
So
I want a hoodie that guys named Michael will give me compliments on. Which one should I buy?
I've always been a fan of the Tomahawks.
I do too.
And I also love the green that the Hawks use. And it was one of my favorite things about our CHGO graphics is that we really use the green a lot. I notice on NBC Sports Chicago, they use yellow.
I like the yellow
as like the 3rd color. Use the green. It really pops. And that's the primary reason I bought this, because I love the green on the Tomahawks.
Well, speaking
so
of
there you go.
Green,
It was for the low price of $79.99.
Hey.
This can be yours. It is super nice though. It is by far my nicest sweatshirt.
Quality hoodies usually cost,
and therefore
more than they
my
should.
nicest piece of clothing.
Yeah.
it's your church hoodie.
It's your Sunday best.
Right. My funeral.
Well, speaking of things that are green that pop, let's talk about hemp. And let's talk about...
Oh, my goodness.
The crown is passed.
Wow.
Our live studio audience
That's
loves
it. I'm out. I'm leaving on top. But seriously, though, let's talk about hemp and CBD-infused coffee. You want to start your day with a competitive edge. You want to learn how to do segues as good as I do. Get yourself some Strava craft coffee, because it is a game changer, and it has helped thousands of people, including everybody sitting right here, to improve their overall wellness and quality of life. Strava delivers delicious, fresh, roasted specialty coffee infused with organic, broad-spectrum CBD. CBD from hemp. It doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer a lot of really great benefits. Like, you're going to feel alert and focused without the jitters, so you can do a late-night hockey podcast post-game show. You're going to live your day more balanced with less anxiety and fewer aches and pains. Sign me the F up for all of that. Plus, including CBD in your daily routine, you can even enjoy more restful sleep, so you wake up feeling even better. I've been drinking the Strava coffee for a couple of weeks. I love it. Great cup of coffee. You get all the benefits from CBD. I know Jay recently cracked open your first bag, and you're loving it.
Yes, I did. It's great.
And you know what the best part about it is? That it's all about the quality. Everything is small batch. It's fresh, and Strava will ship it direct to your door. You don't even have to leave the house. You can do it. You can order it in the shower while you're placing your bets. Strava also offers...
Don't judge me.
Hey,
That's a productive shower.
That's squad goals right there. I don't even know where I'm at in this read anymore. But all I know is you could save 25% on your Strava coffee. All you got to do is, when you go to StravaCraftCoffee.com, use the promo code CHGO25 when you check out, and they're gonna take off 25% of your order. That's CHGO25 at checkout. And if you're already a big fan, and why wouldn't you be? We've been raving about this product for weeks now. You can subscribe and save big time by joining the Strava Coffee Club. With Strava, they put you in control. You can save on your favorite coffees and have it shipped to your door or office whenever you want it. You tell them, I want my coffee there by this date. They're going to get it there for you. So once again, that's Strava, STRAVA, craftcoffee.com.
I did it again and moved on before we actually named our 4th star.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let's give it to Vlasic. First career goal.
First career goal.
Woo!
By the way, I'm looking at
he let us learn that a pickle is technically a fruit.
Yeah.
Yes. See, so much value in this game. And I don't know how to read these things, and I'll hold it up to the screen there. These game scores,
I don't know.
I don't know what it means.
I think the farther on the right you are, the better hockey
The
player you
longer
are.
line
Right.
you have, the better you are at
So
hockey.
Alex
now.
Vlasic was the highest rated Blackhawk in this game. He was 4.5.
So so I can explain game score.
Thank you.
A
I do
little
know,
bit.
but please explain.
So game score is it's a different number of metrics that bring you up to like 1 is good because it's the game score is supposed to kind of reflect like how many points you would have produced or scored in a game. So him being, what was it, 4.5?
Almost 4.5. Yeah.
Almost
Like
4.5 means
4.3.
that he would have like factored into 4 points in the game.
Okay, cool. I like that. Yeah,
That's
a good way to
the
explain
best
it.
way that
Yeah.
I can explain it to
So
how
if
I
he played
understand
all
it.
60 minutes, he would have gotten 4 points or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right, so here's the top. Well, we'll go top 7. Vlasic, Jones, Taves, Kubalik, McCabe, Johnson, Regula.
Yeah,
That
I
checks
wouldn't-
with what we saw on the
Yeah.
ice.
Okay.
Which leads us very nicely into our next topic. Guess who was last on the Blackhawks?
Ooh, I know.
Oh.
Yes, I know. Eric Gustafson.
That is correct.
Hey.
He was minus 1.5.
I don't need no fancy graph to tell me he was the worst player. I need 2 eyeballs.
So he's minus 1.5, the lowest rated player on the game scorecard. And I caught this piece of audio earlier today. This is from the morning skate. Derek King was asked flat out by the Athletics' Mark Lazarus, Eric Gustafson, WTF? We can fire that cut up, Steve.
I know he's a member of the team, so maybe this is a dumb question, but why do you keep putting Gustafson back in, knowing that you talked about the young guys that need to get in more? That why has it been important to you to get everybody in, even the veterans?
Well, it's more those 3 guys, Calvin, Caleb, and Gus, and just kind of rotating them. I mean, he's here, he's part of the team. We got it, and he maybe give us some power play. Quarterback, he brings something different, and it's not based on play. It's just it's the human element of it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like these guys are here. They've been a part of the team all year, and I'm just going to go, you know what? You're not playing the last 10 games because I need to play. But we got our young guys in, and they're going to stay in, and we'll just get a rotation going. So, and then we'll see. Maybe Gus comes out or Stilly comes out, and they understand. It's been laid out to them. So. That's the reason.
Do we have a fart noise sound effect?
I could probably muster one up if we wanted.
I got a sad trombone.
Closed room, we're in close quarters. Let's not do that. If we were in Studio A, I'd be fine.
I
with
mean,
So I can understand it.
Yeah.
And I can stomach it because Vlasic and Regula have developed and have been given a lot of opportunity and earned those opportunities. So I can understand and stomach the reasoning. I still don't like it because I still don't think Eric Gustafson should be playing these minutes, but I can understand it. And the other thing is I can appreciate King being able to have the communication with those players, veterans like Calvin DeHaan and Eric Gustafson, to say like, hey, like you're just going to be part of this rotation here at the end because we're trying to figure out a couple different things else, a couple other things with their roster, with their lineup. So I can appreciate him being able to get that message across to those players and for them to accept it. I don't know if they're that okay with it, but they can accept it. And that's the role that they're playing.
I
still don't like it, but I get it.
I'm with you. I understand what he's saying, and I'm a big believer in the human element. It's something that I try to fall back on all the time when I'm thinking about evaluating a game or a player or a strategy or a lineup or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's gotten enough of an opportunity. He was basically rescued and given another contract here because Caleb Jones was hurt to start the season. I think you've given everything Eric Gustafson deserves, he's gotten, and probably a little bit more. And it's nothing against him. I'm sure he's a fine teammate. And yes, he does bring a little something different to the team than some of the other guys. But at this point, Mario, you're right. As long as Vlasic and Regula are playing, and even to me, like Riley Stillman, I want to find out what we actually have in Riley Stillman. He needs to play. I get it. If it's DeHaan and Gustafson switching in and out, fine. But I would just prefer to put the best team on the ice that you can And the best team you can right now does not include Erik Gustafsson, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I understand the line of thinking, but to be like, well, I just can't sit the guy for no good reason. Well, I got like 100 good reasons to sit him down. First one is he's no damn good at hockey.
Interesting.
I mean, bad hockey player. Why should he play? So, whatever. I mean, it is. We got just a couple more games to deal with this.
Yeah.
Preferably, if you're going to rotate guys, rotate the veteran guys and keep Caleb Jones out there, keep Riley Stillman out there, keep Regula and Vlasic out there. These are the guys that are going to maybe be here when this team is competitive again. Erik Gustafsson is not.
Mm-hmm.
Jake McCabe is not. Calvin DeHaan is not. So there's really sure, okay, veteran guys, we owe them. Do you, though? Do you really? I mean, no, not really. It's okay. I love Derek King. He's a nice guy, but every once in a while, it's okay to be a jerk.
Yeah. You got to have a little bit of that to be the kind of the kind of coach that can really control a lineup to be like, no, I'm making this decision, to keep you out or to play this player extra.
I do think too that that's something that he probably needs to improve at. I think he's very concerned with keeping everybody happy. And that's, as a coach, it's impossible. Like, you're just not going to have every player on your team full of professionals, full of millionaires, full of guys with a ton of pride. You can't make everybody happy all the time, and you've got to do what's best for the team. At this point, there's really nothing to play for, right? So I'm not super concerned about it. But if this is a playoff chase, I sure as hell hope Derek King isn't saying, well, he's on the team too, so he's got to be in. No, he damn doesn't. No, he doesn't. Right now it's okay, but when it counts, no. You got to play the best player.
Like we've kind of started noticing a little bit more and talking about a little bit more in the last few episodes, it makes me wonder if that kind of approach, if Derek King is just being like, we're just going to rotate guys in and out, if he's just kind of in this role as like, well, we're just riding out to the end of the season, including himself as coach. I think if we were thinking of Derek King being the coach beyond this season, and if he was thinking of, or behind closed doors knew he had a chance at that role, maybe he would be taking some more definitive hard stances on who's in, who's out, things like that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but it seems like something that a coach who knows that their role is not beyond this season, there's just like, I'm just going to keep everyone happy through the rest of the season.
Well, it's interesting because we talked about earlier this week that we were all sort of surprised that the interim tag has not been taken off. And I feel like every day that goes by where it doesn't means less and less that he's going to be back. I don't know. Because I think if Kyle Davidson had made his mind up, he would have just done it.
He would have done it, yeah.
Like, what's the delay? What are you waiting for? And just let him hit the offseason running, and the team knows, like, okay, this is the guy, so let's lean in and let's really, buy in if we can. But I don't know. It's been slower than I expected with that. And again, I'm starting to have my doubts that he's going to be back. But we'll see.
Yeah.
If you missed it, by the way, if you go to allchgo.com and you're a member, you can read the article we wrote, If Not Derek King, Then Who? We each made our pitches for, we did on the podcast as well. We made our pitches for our other replacement coaches. So make sure you check that out as well. Got a question here on the CHGO Blackhawks Twitter, which you should follow as well. CHGO_Blackhawks from Vakitis. He said, can you guys cover who Jake McCabe is and when we got him? I know we have had someone wearing number 6 all year, but this is not the same dude. What made him remember how to hockey? I think
Strava Coffee.
Strava Coffee, yes. Athletic Greens, all those great things.
Yep.
He's a member at CHGO. That's probably the main thing.
Yes.
I think that you got to remember, he came back from a really devastating injury last year. And just like Seth Jones early in the year, trying to live up to the big contract, probably trying to do too much. I think he's just sort of found his way, and he has gotten better as the year's gone on. You're starting to see, especially lately, what they thought they were getting when they signed Jake McCabe. If Jake McCabe continues to be the guy he's been over the last couple of weeks, good signing. But up until then, it had seemed like kind of a big overpayment, probably overpaid for a guy that wasn't worthy of that contract. But over the last few weeks, he has been. So Let's hope it continues into next year.
Tied his career high in goals and has a new career high in points. Or maybe I have that the other way around.
He did tie his career high in goals.
4
I think
goals,
I think he's got a career high in
yes,
points. Yeah.
Career high 21 points. So I think you're a little right. It took him a little bit of time, and overall, it's not been a great season for Jake McCabe, but we have seen him play well these last few weeks. But even when it was going bad for him, there's one thing you can say about Jake McCabe. You can never have questioned his effort.
Nope.
Or his fire and passion, my friends.
That's exactly right.
He's always had that. Even when he's had his worst shifts of the season, you knew he was trying hard.
Shifts.
That's what I said.
I'm just making sure that we not as worse.
That's what I said. Booby traps.
Not as worse shits of the
So
season.
I believe he
They've all had
also
those.
leads the team in both hits and block shots.
I believe this
Now
is
that Connor Murphy
Murphy's
has
out, yeah.
missed enough games, I think McCabe both leads the team in hits and block shots.
He's
He's had a tie for his most goals, his most points. So it's so crazy to think.
Sounds like a Norris Trophy.
Yeah,
winner to
it
me.
sounds so crazy to be like, he's had a horrible season, but he's got career bests in
Yeah.
all these categories.
Well,
Like,
if you just brought up his stat page, you'd be like, wow, that's really good. But then
yeah,
if you watched him a few times this year, you're like, wow. As the Twitter follower said, well, I didn't know he knew how to hockey.
Yeah.
There were a few
Yeah,
times where he looked like he was in a blender and just going around in a circle. But
It's funny. This team is just so poor defensively, and it's not just the defenseman. We saw in overtime, or no, it was the game-tying goal.
it was a 4-4.
DeBrincat
The 4-on-4.
and Kane just
left
like,
the zone.
we're just going to leave the zone here and let Vlasic handle it.
And then they took their sweet time. That's been a problem with the Hawks forwards all season long. They all cheating to get out of the zone.
Yeah.
And that's why these defensemen keep turning the puck over because nobody's there to help
There's
them.
no puck
You
support.
can't stretch pass it into the neutral zone every stinking time.
Right.
These guys got to stay back and help their defensemen, especially when you're talking about these young defensemen, because they see a veteran like a DeBrincat or a Kane, and they're going to try and get them the puck. And that 4-on-4 the game tying goal, DeBrincat was leaving early, didn't get the pass.
Mm-hmm.
And then both him and Kane took their sweet ass time getting back in the zone. Anton Strawman gets that shot off, and he's the guy that DeBrincat should have picked up. You watch the goal scored, and then here comes 88 and 12, just coasting in. Yes, they made up for it in OT, but those are the little things that bad hockey teams do, and they do that too often.
That's something that's always bugged me about Kane from the day he started. Like, there's no slower skater on earth than Patrick Kane when he has to go back to the defensive zone.
Yeah.
He's like, someone put concrete on the ice. What's going on?
That magical piano only shows up when the other team has the puck.
Exactly. All right. Well, we've wasted enough time to get to the lead. Today is the 37th birthday of an absolute Blackhawks legend.
well, yesterday was.
Oh, technically yesterday. Thank you.
But
yes.
yes.
It's not his birthday
But
anymore.
yes.
Moving on.
420. Brent Seabrook, happy birthday. The author of my favorite moment of the dynasty, knocking the Red Wings out in Game 7. That was just, to me, as a longtime Hawks fan, and I talked about this today on Twitter, and a lot of people agreed, the Cup winners are great, obviously, right? But there is something symbolic about knocking out the Red Wings in a Game 7, in overtime, in the official passing of the torch to the Hawks as the dominant team in then the Western Conference. That, to me, after seeing having the Red Wings rip my heart out so many times during my fandom, to me, that goal from Brent Seabrook will always be my favorite singular moment of the dynasty. And he's got a ton of them, but that's the one for me.
Well, and that series was ridiculous because this was the 2013 Hawks team was the President's Trophy winner in the shortened season, starting the year, unbeaten in regulation for 24 games, and they blow right through the Wild in the first round, and they get the Game 1 victory against Detroit, and then they lose 3 straight. They were down 3-1 in that series, and clawed back to get into a Game 7. Should have won in regulation on the Nicholas Hjalmarsson goal that was called back on incidental minors, and they go to overtime, and Seabrook gets the 3-1 game winner. It is my absolute favorite Seabrook moment, my absolute favorite non-cup clinching playoff goal. I put it above Hosa's Game 5 OT winner, just because of the fact that it was knocking out the Red Wings.
Knocked them out of the Western Conference.
Yes, they
Yes.
did. Yeah,
Not just
literally,
the playoffs.
Yes,
Keep
that's
their
true.
ass to the east.
That's right. Runaway scared.
Yeah, go back and suck in Detroit.
Go suck for a decade.
I have a little more. I have another memory of Brent Seabrook. It was the 09-10 season, the first Cup year, second home game of the year. I remember this because I was still a season ticket holder. I just started dating a woman named Jill, who was my partner for 10 years before she passed away 3 years ago. It was our first time I took her to a Hawks game, and it was that second game of the year, that Calgary game where they were down 5-1 at the end of the first period. And jokingly, but not really jokingly, I always had a rule: if I took you to a game on my season tickets the first time and the Blackhawks lost, I don't think I ever asked you to come again. And I said that to her, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to ever bring you to a game again. She goes, don't worry, they're going to win this game. And I was like, okay, whatever you say. And then all of a sudden, boom, they come back. And it was Seabrook that scored the overtime goal, and they won 6-5. So that was a night where I remember, like, this team is special.
Yep.
And I also felt like I had something special going on, and I did. And, so that's a game that always sticks out in my mind that Brent Seabrook had a big part in. And so I'm going to send some happy birthday wishes down to Tampa, Florida, where I'm sure Brent Seabrook is living right now.
Yes.
Yeah. When we were at the Taves 1000th game in the suite with CHGO, and he kind of popped out behind the 19. I'm like, I got a little choked up because it's the first time we'd really seen him back
around.
In any way, we've
Blackhawks,
seen video messages and stuff, but to see him on the ice again, and then it all got blown away when Hossa came out. But I don't know. Brent Seabrook will always be one of my favorite Hawks, just because talk about a guy who just left chunks of his body on the ice every night, and people were hard on him towards the end, and I'm probably one of them.
Yeah.
But you got to remember the mileage on that guy and the hard minutes he played, shutting down the top, offensive line all the time, long playoffs, healthy most of his career. That dude played a crap ton of hockey and gave Chicago every last ounce he had and wanted to give them more. He wanted to give the Hawks more than he already did, and it just didn't pan out. So he will go down as one of the great Blackhawks of all time. He absolutely should. Number 7 should hang from the rafters for him, then Chris Chelios, in my opinion. He's an icon to me. And, before Taves, before Kane, there was Seabrook and Keith. And to see those guys develop from their rookie years where they looked like, oh my God, these guys might not be able to play hockey, to being people we talk about with reverent tones, and we should. That's the beauty of a rebuild. That's what makes it fun. When you see Alex Vlasic and Alec Regula become the next Keith and Seabrook, that's not going to happen. But you get my point.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be nice, though.
That would be lovely. I would love that.
I'm not going to get ahead of ourselves here, but yeah, I mean, absolutely, Seabrook is one of the legends of the modern era, and you look at the Cup runs, and he's definitely not one that gets all of the attention. He definitely gets a lot of deserved attention, but if you pluck him out of that roster, I don't know if all 3 of those Cups happen.
They might not win one.
He scored a lot of overtime goals.
A lot of
just
timely
that Red
goals.
Wing goal. There was he scored
lot of
in
timely
the
ones.
2013 Cup final,
And firmly pulled the captain's head from his backside.
Yep. There was didn't he have the goal in that triple overtime Predators game in 2015? Didn't he have one of those?
I don't remember.
He had more than one. I know that. He had a bunch of
He scored one against Boston in the final.
Yeah, I think
He scored did he get
game
it?
5.
Yeah, he had an OT winner.
He had one of those Nashville, that 15 series, that weird series where it was Scott Darling and Corey Crawford. He had I think he had the game winner in that triple overtime game at the United Center.
No, that was Keith.
All right,
The
whatever.
game 1. I don't know. There were too many late night
That's all right.
Nashville games.
Here's one thing I do know: a cucumber's a fruit. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on CHGO Blackhawks. We're back tomorrow night for another late start, 9:30 puck drop.
All right.
All right.
We thought we were loopy tonight. Just wait till tomorrow.
Couple things. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube page. Hit that like button, youtube.com/CHGO Sports. Make sure you are following us on Twitter at CHGO_Blackhawks. And subscribe to the podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And let me tell you, if you want to do us a favor, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts for us. That is like gold for podcasts. So if you got 5 minutes, hit that 5 stars, write a brief review about why you like the podcast. It would be hugely helpful and meaningful to the three of us if you could do us that kindness. It only takes a few seconds, and it is hugely, hugely helpful for us. So if you can do that, we'd greatly appreciate it. And one final reminder, we are, as always, presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. For Greg and Mario, I'm Jay. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Tonight.
Tonight.
On the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.